My teens were a little bit fraught for a number of reasons, but honestly, I did not have a good grasp of my identity and who I am.
Mm.
A lot of teenagers are in that stage where people kind of say you're trying to find yourself and your place and where you belong. And I was actually believing a lot of lies about myself. My self worth was kind of in the tank. And, I was doing some things I shouldn't have been doing, hanging out with people I shouldn't have been hanging out with. And one of them was a good friend named Tracy. And I don't mind saying her name. She's born again now, too, by the way. But we used to do some not so born again stuff. But one day we were at the county fair together, and there was this guy, and he had this trailer. It was like he'd set it up like a classroom in there, and we were walking by, and we were just looking for the free stuff. And he said he was showing movies, and of course I liked movies. And he said this movie is called The Greatest Love Story Ever Told.
Mm.
And my question was, well, are we old enough to see this movie? Because it's rated R, I can't watch it. And he said, oh no, this movie's for everybody. And I was intrigued. And he said, come back in 15 minutes. It was a short film that talked about the love of the Lord, like, Jesus, that he came, that he died for us, that he rose again on the third day and wants a relationship with you, and you need the Lord. We watched the film, we prayed, because he said, everybody bow your head and pray. And there was like 10 people in there. And I prayed it. And I really was sincere in my prayer to ask Jesus into my heart. And when we walked out, I remember my friend saying, well, that was a waste of time. I remember her saying that.
Mm.
And she was like, can you believe that guy, whatever. And I said, I do believe it, I do believe him. It seemed like I don't know how else to say it, but when you go to like the store and there's like candy bars at the on your way to the checkout, that impulse buy. It's kind of seemed like an impulse buy thing at the time. I'm just there trying to get freebies, and somebody says, "You want a little Jesus?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll take that." At the moment. And so it's like, was I really sincere? But I know that I was, because there was an immediate change in my life and my countenance, and a calmness that came on me, and a newness that I can't explain with words, but some of the things we used to do, I didn't want to do that anymore. And I knew that I was different.